Welcome everyone to The Buzz at Leighland Christian School. It is great to see you again. Thank you for joining us. Today we're going to talk about our partnership with Future Schools, and we're going to talk about our partnership with Christian Education National and the incredible opportunities that they give our staff and then our students through benefiting from our staff learning from these great organisations. So please sit down, relax, get a cup of tea and enjoy the next 10 minutes. Goal 3 of our strategic plan is to nurture reflective, engaged and collaborative staff members as lifelong learners by providing opportunities for innovation in and out of the classroom to ensure high quality student outcomes. And we have been highly intentional to do this. We partner with organisations like the Future Schools. And you are going to see quite a few examples of our staff engaging with Future Schools and seeing schools being innovative and getting ideas about what could be here at Leighland Christian School.
Hi everyone, I'm Desiree Smuts. I'm the Head of Department for English here at Leighland Christian School for their secondary students. So I've been on a couple of tours now to the mainland to see how some schools do things differently, and it has impacted my teaching and the way I do things a lot. Our recent trip was to Newcastle. We did some design thinking workshops there, and it was just amazing how the focus is on empathy and it's human-centered, and it just changed on how we look at what is actually relevant in the classes, what is relevant to learn, what is worth learning, and how can we actually make it relevant to the real world. So from taking a lot of information from the other schools and the tours and stuff, we have implemented the project-based learning, where the kids are building towards a product and we celebrate the product at the end. Through that, it's also related to real world issues and getting to know themselves and where they fit into the world and trying to solve problems. So we're trying to move away from the old traditional way of just sitting in a class being spoken to and being more hands-on solving problems in the world.
Okay, my name's Phil McCorkle. I'm one of the 5-6 teachers here at Ulverston campus, and I've been asked to bring some information about when I went to Future Schools last year and what I saw and how it brought an engagement with me that I hadn't had before. Up to that point, a lot of my classrooms were teacher driven. I allocated the work, completed the work, assessed the work, marked everything else that went on. And what I saw at Future Schools up in Newcastle was the ability for a teacher to be able to present a project-based aspect to their teaching that left it student-driven. That the students then knew the criteria, knew the understandings, and knew the expectations. And from that point, I'm able to release them to do what they need to do to accomplish that. And that has been a challenge for me in the past. But with collaboration with the other teachers and with the environment that we've found ourselves in, and what I saw at Future Schools, gave me the inspiration to be able to present it and trust the students. I think that's the biggest thing, is we're trusting the students to accomplish what they need to accomplish. And we're in an environment here where what I saw in Newcastle, the students were sort of, out, and they were in other open areas, and they were actually given a high level of trust. And the discussion wasn't why aren't you on task, it was where are you up to with your project? What do you need to do next? What do you need me to bring? And what do you need me to, sort of supply for you to accomplish the task? And that's pretty much what I brought back here, to actually bring a more positive aspect into the classroom, to work with my collab teachers and allow the students to achieve what they need to achieve.
Hi, I'm Katrina McNabb and I work in primary and secondary at our Ulverston campus. In the July school holidays, Desiree Smuts and I had an awesome opportunity to go to Macquarie University in Newcastle to learn from Louis and Louise from Stanford University. Together with educators from around Australia, we explored the idea that we are all designers and design thinking can be used to solve problems in the world, the community, the classroom, the staff room and the boardroom. Backed by over 30 years of research, Laura and Louis showed us how this solution-focused approach can be used to challenge assumptions, embrace challenges and iterate innovative solutions. Desiree and I came home excited about the possibilities of transforming learning for our students, our staff and our community. Design work gives students the purpose or why for learning, making learning more authentic and meaningful. Since returning, we have used design thinking with our staff in our student free days at the beginning of term and with our students in English and entrepreneurship. We are planning to use design thinking to help us understand the human needs involved in issues and reframe problems. We will use it to help our students reframe challenges into opportunities and come up with solutions, products and services that are desirable, feasible and viable. Design thinking gives us the tools to unlock everyone's unique creative abilities. An important ingredient of design thinking and PBL is providing students with an opportunity to share their learning, solutions, products and services with an audience. Please support our students by attending their presentations of learning this year.
So I'm here sitting with Mrs. Desiree Smuts, our Head of English, and Mrs. Smuts has been on an amazing journey recently. I asked her to attend with our campus principal, Mrs. Shy, a trip to California a couple of weeks ago. And the reason I wanted these guys to go to California is because myself and Dr. McNabb had this experience already of visiting these innovative schools over there. And it was trying to give them a picture of what could be in our schools here at Leighland. Because I had lived and I had worked and led in a school over there as a high school principal at one of these innovative schools, you know, it's all very well sharing the stories about what actually happens, but until you actually go and see it in action, you don't really get that, you know, a full understanding. And so I guess I want to say, what are some of the schools that you attended and how were they, just in one sentence, how are they all different?
So we looked at Brightworks, which is a school that's completely different. They don't have to go via a curriculum, and it's very student-led, student agency. It's amazing, and all the products are displayed everywhere. We also went to New Ava, which is a school for the exceptional kids, and they also do project-based learning where they do some work and then create the product and display. Went to High Tech High, which is, I think, one of the favorites. They just display all their work everywhere, and they took us through how they go about getting everything done.
In terms of High Tech High, I actually had a lot of my training through High Tech High, and the amazing thing is, from the little ones to the big ones, the students are so engaged in what they actually do in their classroom, and it is all, you know, supported by the curriculum of the state, and they just have so much student agency in their learning, and they are so they get so deep into their subjects. It's quite incredible, isn't it? I know Mrs. Shy was like blown away by the calibre of work that the primary students were actually, and the way the students could articulate their learning. I mean, that's what excites me. I'm looking forward to seeing more and more of that here at Leighland as well. How do you look at schools like this, and people might go, oh, you know, but how do you make it in the Leighland context? Do you know what I mean? Because we aren't High Tech High, you know, we're not Numa, we're not Brightworks, like we're not Stanford D School. So how do we make it Leighland?
So the things that we actually saw wasn't that difficult to use and adapt here. And some of it we're already doing in English with the PBL, and the 5/6s are already doing. So it's really just looking at a whole unit, for example, how we make our decisions, and then basing activities around that to get kids to have a deeper understanding of how our decisions impact our lives, and then they end up creating a product, which is then displayed in some sort of presentation to the parents at the end of each term. So
that's the real world learning of it.
That's the real world learning, and we are already on the way there. So we're not High Tech High, we are not New Ava, we are Leighland, but we can do it with a Leighland spin. And coming from a Christian worldview, gives us the upper hand, because we can make those real world connections with Christ in it, which is
absolutely
amazing.
Hi, I'm David. I'm the business manager at Leighland Christian School, and I've got a long association with Christian Education National. Our school's been a partner with Christian Education National for over 40 years, and there's good reason for that. They provide amazing resources for our school, including professional learning, support for our board and governance, leadership training, and they also provide a vast number of curriculum resources which are biblically based. So really important for our school community and to continue Christian education. They partner with over 55 schools around Australia, and we just happen to be one of them, but certainly consider them to be vital in our ability to continue to provide Christian education.
Hi, I'm Cassie Miles. I'm the acting head of primary at the Leighland Christian School, Ulverston campus. And earlier this term, I went to the Developing Leaders Conference in Melbourne. The theme of the conference was about grit. I really appreciated hearing people's stories about how they have overcome some tremendous obstacles by using grit in their lives. One of the leaders spoke about there is no room or circumstance in your life that you can walk into where God isn't Lord of all. I've learned that as a developing leader, having grit means having an attitude of humility, looking at what's important and dealing with people's emotions really carefully. It's about drawing on the wisdom of others and knowing that my words and my actions have an impact on others. It was a really great experience and I learned a lot from it.
So I'm Ben Mace. I'm one of the teachers here at Leighland Christian School on the Ulverston campus. I teach through 7 through to 10 for English and Christian Living. Recently, I got blessed to go to the CEN conference in Melbourne, which was all about teaching grit in our schools. And with that, we had a lot of schools across the nation, all part of CEN, working together in there. And so I went to a teaching and learning one, which had me on tables with other teachers across the nation, as well as heads of secondary, principals, heads of learning support, and being able to collaborate together and network as well and talk about what other people are doing in those schools. One of the big takeaways I got was, apart from the network, which was huge, was actually questioning some of our classroom practices. It's more about why do we do it in certain ways, and just to rethinking and trying to be updated in the way that we do it. And one of the big takeaways I got was actually questioning what does our first assignment for the year say about us? What does it say that's important to us and important to our class?
All throughout our strategic plan is our partnership with CEN, as well as learning from them in terms of really putting in this transformation by design, these biblical threads throughout all the curriculum. So you've just seen there's some great examples of how we partner and work with Christian Education National.
We love Leighland Christian School.
Well, I hope you had a little bit more insight today into Christian Education National and into future schools. If you've got any questions, we would love to receive them. Thanks so much for joining us on this episode of The Buzz.
What are you guys doing at the moment?
We're playing Follow the Leader